Hey, this is Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, we're going to show you the actual cost for $15,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 61-year-old male. Now, first thing you need to understand is you can go directly to our website, and we've got these quotas on just about every page. And if you just enter in the state that you live in, just click on it, and we're licensed in all 50 states, by the way, and click the coverage amount. Put your birthday in here, fill the rest out, go get quotes now, click on that, and it will take you to a page that's going to show you all the best companies with all the best pricing in your state. You can also call us at our toll-free number, 888-862-9456. Now, the first thing you need to consider if you're a 61-year-old male looking at $15,000 is that going to be enough for your final expense needs? Now, if you're going to be cremated, and you're just going to come home in a cardboard box or an urn, then that $15,000 is more than enough because the average cost for that's only between $1,000 to $2,000. Now, if you're going to be cremated and then have some sort of ceremony like a celebration of life or a remembrance ceremony or something like that, that's probably going to be about $3,500 to $4,500 right now. So, it probably just the cremation with no ceremony, you're probably going to want $5,000 to $7,000. And that just inflation proofs your plan. At age 61, we're hoping you make it to 71, 81, maybe 91. And then if you're going to have some sort of a ceremony with the cremation, probably look at between 5, 7, 10,000. Typically that's going to be enough. The thing though is, if your budget's tight, just get what you can afford right now, because having some insurance is better than having no insurance, especially when your family and loved ones are going to be the one that's going to be forced to pay for this. So just be respectful of them, and we can always help you add more coverage later if you need to add more coverage later. So don't worry about that component of it. Now, if you're going to be buried, the average cost of a burial right now in the United States is right around $10,000. Now, I can tell you one thing. It's not going to be very fancy for $10,000, but it's hard to imagine you can't walk into a funeral home in most parts of the country with a $10,000 check and they say, hey, we'll get it done. Again, it won't be fancy, but it's hard to imagine them turning that down and letting that check walk down the road to their competitors. So, if you're looking for burial insurance and you're age 61, hopefully you're fairly healthy and you plan on living to 71, 81, maybe 91, and you're probably going to want a little more insurance. So maybe, we would typically help people with 10,000, maybe 15, maybe 20,000. But again, if your budget's tight, just get a smaller amount. We can always help you add more coverage later. If you've got a little bit more flexibility in your budget, a little more room, you may want to get a little bit more, and that way you never have to worry about it and you lock in your rates at your lowest age. So one thing we always tell people is make sure you get first aid coverage or benefits. First aid coverage or benefits. That's all we help people with at Funeral Funds of America. And that is so important because none of us knows when we're going to pass away. And, we could be here another 20 seconds or another 20 years. We just don't know. So you definitely want first aid coverage, and you want to avoid those to your waiting period plans. And we'll go over that in a minute. But a lot of people would say, hey, you're right. I do want first aid coverage. But those plans, I've heard they ask health questions, and I'm not in the best of health. And you're absolutely right. They do ask health questions. But we work with enough different insurance companies, and they all have different underwriting that 95% of the time we're getting people first aid coverage. So you let us worry about that, and don't you worry about that at all. Now, the only reason you wouldn't qualify for first aid coverage is if you had like a really significant health issue. And that would be things like you had a terminal illness and you were going to pass away in the next 12 months, or maybe you had dementia, or that you were on dialysis, or you were in a hospital or in a nursing home. If that were the case, we'd refer you out to a different company. But we also get calls from people. It seems like every week somebody will call us and say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week and they didn't have insurance and we don't have any money. Their body's down at the funeral home and the funeral director's not going to do anything till he gets a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance really quick. Can we get this done? And we have to let them know that there's no insurance company in the United States that's going to offer a burial insurance or a cremation insurance or life insurance plan on somebody who's already died. You got to be alive to qualify for these plans. So it's just really sad that somebody died and didn't consider anyone else other than themselves when it came to this insurance. And they passed away. I'm sure they didn't expect to pass away. And, then this money just their family's got to figure out how to come up with it. And that's exactly what this insurance does. And make sure your family doesn't have to come up with this money. So that's a terrible thing to do to your family. Don't be that kind of a person. Now, we always recommend first day coverage. And there's a lot of 2-year waiting period plans out there. Colonial Penn's probably the best known, simply just because they advertise a lot, on TV. And it seems like they're on the TV every 7 minutes with their $9.95 commercial. And make no mistake, that $9.95 plan is a 2-year waiting period policy. So there's other companies out there that offer those 2-year waiting periods. Mutual of Omaha, the United Omaha line, AIG, Gerber. And there's other companies out there too. That's the only thing they offer is 2-year waiting period. And they've done a fairly good job of convincing the American public who are 50 or older that the only thing you can qualify for is a 2-year waiting period policy. And we always go, oh, you are so wrong, because we help people with first day coverage every single day. So don't fall for that marketing. Oh my gosh, don't be so silly. Now, a lot of people would watch that Colonial Penn commercial and they would think, oh my gosh, a 61-year-old male, I can probably get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, maybe even $50,000. I only have to pay $9.95. And then they talk with the Colonial Penn agent, or they go online and find out a male age 61, $9.95 only gets you $1,112. That is not even enough for a cremation these days. But it doesn't really matter because it's got a 2-year waiting period. And it wouldn't pay out for any health or medical related cause of death in the first 2 years. So that $1,112 is going to be worth less in 2 years. So it just kind of gets worse and worse and worse. So you got to be really cautious of some of the marketing with some of these companies, especially a $9.95 plan. Now, let's go see what $15,000 would be. And you can't, a male age 61 can't get $15,000 exactly on the nose because they're per unit pricing, and it always puts out kind of goofy wackadoodle numbers like 1112. So let's see, I'm going to guess it's maybe around 13 units. They max out at 15, so we're kind of in the upper range. 13 units, 14 units right there. So 15,556 for 14 units. That's roughly $140. Is $140 a good deal? If you can get first day coverage, that's not a good deal. Let's actually check on that. So we've got $15,000 here for a male, and that's going to be age 61. And we're going to hit the get quote right there. Let's jump back here again. Roughly $15,000 for roughly $140 a month. And with other insurance companies like Trinity Life, we work with them. We recommend them. They're a terrific company. Level means first day coverage. They're $64. So even if you doubled that, that's what, $130, and they're $139, So, it's just interesting that you can get first day coverage. You can get pricing over half off. And, you go over here, it's significantly more than 200% higher. And you've got a 2-year waiting period. And you're going to have to overpay on that insurance for the rest of your life. So why would you do such nonsense? So if you look at the difference between the price, it's roughly $80. I'm just going to round the numbers. It's easier math for me. So roughly $80 more a month. That would be an extra $960 a year, roughly. And if you lived another 10 years, that would be roughly another $9,600 that you're overpaying by going with Colonial Penn for a $15,000 policy. So you're overpaying almost $10,000 after 10 years on a $15,000 policy when you could save that money and keep it in your own pocket. So why would you ever buy a 2-year waiting period policy? I don't know. It seems kind of silly. So let's look at some other companies here that maybe advertise quite a bit. And you'll be able to see all these companies on the quoter that we provide for you. It's pretty cool. Let's look at one here. Let's find one. Oh, there we go. Lincoln Heritage. They're a fine company, I'm sure. level coverage, and they're $91.80. So they're quite a bit more. And the reason is they provide a service where when you pass away, they'll call 2-3 different funeral homes and, kind of supposedly shop around to get the best pricing. They may do a couple other things, but they charge a premium for it. So again, that's $91 versus $64. So roughly, I'm just easy math for me, roughly $30 more a month. So that would be an extra $360 a year. And you would overpay after 10 years, $3,600 roughly. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth paying an insurance company after 10 years an extra $3,600 roughly just to make 2 or 3 phone calls and maybe do a couple other things? Boy, that seems like a pretty good paycheck for an insurance company, doesn't it? So we just don't recommend you do that. Don't overpay on insurance. Actually, what we do is we provide you with a free funeral and estate planning guide. And what you can do is you can fill that out in advance, who gets what goes where, what you want done after you've passed away, where you want to be buried, cremated, all that stuff. Include it all in there. Just keep it right with your insurance policy. Now, when you pass away, your family's not only going to be protected financially, but also emotionally, because you've done everything for them in advance. And they're going to know that you are thinking about them and loving them and caring for them well in advance of a day that everybody hoped wouldn't come, but nobody lives forever. So what a wonderful gift to leave behind. So yeah, don't leave your family struggling when you do pass away. So you can check out all of the different insurance companies there on a quoter. And you can just do that by filling out this quote form right here, calling us toll free. We'll run the numbers for you. So if you've got an existing policy and you're just wanting to price shop it or add more coverage to it, we can help you out with that. If you are looking for a brand new policy and want to get the lowest pricing, we can help you with that. If you just have some questions or just want some information, we'd love to help you out with that too. So just reach out to us. We look forward to the day we actually get to meet with you and talk with you. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.